Hey guys, do a little different format here. I think it's the first time I put myself on the camera for this channel. Hi, I'm Steve Entler. And what? Born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, or in Portland. And spent a lot of time around a drag strip as a drag race announcer for years. And did substantial amount of racing. And then did some road racing back then, and also raced, not very successfully, some outboard hydroplane races. And then I drove one circle track car once back. It was the night before Rebel Jackson Sr. died. If that means anything to you guys, that was a super modified race. And Rebel Jackson Sr. was like the godfather of super modifieds, and right before my eyes, I had one big nasty wreck. But whatever. That was at Portland Speedway. So, I'm going to give a tutorial on doing fast and dirty body work on a dirt track car, just to keep it pretty. And maybe a little more than that, like maybe some bumper repair. Some of you might be interested in that. And then I want to rant a little bit, and I think I'll rant right now since I'm thinking of it. I come from drag racing. Drag racing is primarily NHRA. And the beauty of that is if you go to any NHRA track, it's the same rules at every track. Dirt track racing, not at all. It's ridiculous, actually. And it pisses me off, actually. I think some tracks are just dangerous. I think the fact that certain categories, there's no consistency, it's frustrating. If you want to go race at a different track, you have to have a completely different car, in certain categories. I run 4-cylinder category. And if I want to run 4-cylinder somewhere else, like, certain tracks, it's like, oh, you got to have an outlaw 4-cylinder of some sorts, like a full-on race car as opposed to a stock car. And it's frustrating. I'm just looking at it from, it would be fun to go travel around and race different tracks. That's part of the fun of racing. And why tracks can't get together and sort the rules out or... Oh, and then here, this is another thing, and this is rumor. I'll have to find out about this. But IMCA, of course, is they're like a sanctioning body that does similar to NHRA. Problem with them, I heard, and this is the rumor, is they almost are like a franchise. So if you're one track within a particular market, you're the one IMCA track. That's it. Now, why the hell would IMCA decide to, they're making their franchise better? Ain't nobody driving there just because they're IMCA. Why don't you just make all the damn tracks IMCA and then everybody knows what they're getting into? This doesn't seem like rocket science to me, but anyway, that's my little beef. Funny thing is here in the Portland area, the one IMCA track that I can think of has an opening or an entry on the wall that's along a straightaway. So if you come out of the turn and you're out of shape, you potentially are going to die if you're loose or get pushed. And it just, whatever. That's my little bitch. Enough of that. I would love to create a movement where it congeals all the tracks in the Pacific Northwest, at least. Hell, maybe nationwide. I think it would be cool. You want a 4-cylinder car or a 4-cylinder race? These are the rules. Every damn track. I don't know why they're all different. It boggles me. So, enough of that. I have no footage. Oh, there's another thing I want to bitch about. Is my GoPro, which one is it? Anyway, to plug in, to charge the thing, you have to flip the side open where the battery is. And you plug in. Well, I charged. Unplugged it right before the race. flip the lid down. Never tested it. Have my buddy push the button before I go out for the race. Won't work. Get home, flip that door back open. Oh, here, let me push the battery all the way back in, or something was loose. It was either the battery or the SIM card. Whatever. I'm just stupid. So no footage of it. Now, I guess this is going to run long, so I'm just going to make this a talking video. I'll do my repairs on a second video. How's that? So, a recap of the race. It was a bigger payout for 4-cylinder category. I believe there was 17 cars that took a bite at it. And so my experience was right before the heat race, for those of you that end up wearing glasses, you kind of get in the car, you've got your suit and your sock on, you belt up, you put your helmet on, and then you reach for your glasses and then sneak it through. Well, I reached for my glasses, which I had on my leg, and kapow, they snapped in half. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, very inopportune time for this to occur. So I squealed like a little girl and ended up with a roll of yellow duct tape, and I taped the things to my face. And it worked out all right. I ended up winning that heat race and then went into the trophy dash, and I did whatever. I started third and I ended third, I believe. I'll have to take another look. But somebody's got a hot rod. No, not really. No, you're gonna blow it up. It's Free Rap Freddy doing a throttle tune-up. Anyway, so go through the trophy dash, in third, blah blah blah. Comes to the A main, and we had it split where there was a B and an A, and I was instantly in the A, sitting, I think I was fifth, is where I landed on the starting grid. And it was a 40-lap race, so I knew I had a lot of time, but you're gonna crack up when you hear what happened. So within the first 2 or 3 laps, made a move, and I was up to second. I was like, okay, cool. And the guy that was in first, well, I'm gonna go into that. I was in second. So I go probably 2 or 3 laps in second, and then coming out of turn, or somewhere in between 3 and 4, or somewhere in 4, I get love tapped or kind of bumped around, and I came around. She got around on me, and I headed towards the infield, and we've got those like semi-truck tires that are full of concrete. I smacked one of them some bitches. I mean, just square. Actually, there's love marks here on the bumper. There's one here and one on the other side. And I thought for sure I was going to see coolant come flying out of this car. No such thing happened. At any rate, that got the yellow and got back into the grid, sitting second. Well, we do California restarts at St. Helens, and I'm sitting in the second position. Of course, what's a California restart? Well, it's where the pole position is out front all alone, and then we'll stack them side by side all the way, to the end. So the guy that's in first is all by his loners. Well, so I'm second, right? Well, the first thing what happens is when we go to stack them up is the starter, which he'll read the number of the guy that's in the second spot, which mine is 22. And he says, 22, high or low? Well, my brain was still rattled because I had just gone over that concrete tire, and what I heard, 22. Your tire's low. High or low, tire low. So what did I do? I went off the side of the track. I go into the hot laps. I get down there, everybody's looking at me, well, what's up? And I'm like, well, he said my tire was low. They're looking around, shaking my car. No, seems fine. What's your problem? And then, of course, Darren comes over and pretty much runs the track and says, tire low? No, he said higher low. Speaking of high, son, what's your problem? Now I'm like, whoa, hey, let me get back onto the track. T-shirt worthy screw up there. This is my second catastrophic rookie move in the past 2 weeks. So high or low? How about the back? I'll just go all the way to the back. Let's put me in 16th place. Okay, I'm still optimistic, man. I've got, 40 laps. Well, not 40, 35 laps to go. Well, after the third yellow, they'll start docking 5 laps just so they can get the show done. So I kind of lay back, and I knew there was going to be carnage. So it was just a matter of dodging the carnage. And I made a move here, and I made a move there. And really, my whole deal was I wanted to go through this race without offending anybody, and I almost made it. I think I pissed somebody off pretty good, and it was not my intent, man. I was just racing. So, suffice it to say, we are dirt track racing, and there is going to be contact. That just happens. And I've never intentionally tried to spin anybody out. No. I can't say that. Yes, I can. More than anything, I'm just trying to get around the track fast. And sometimes that entails me coming out of a turn. I'm on the gas. It's time to go. And if somebody's in front of me, and if they bobble, or they're just all of a sudden going to go slow, I'm not intentionally trying to spin anybody. But, I'll get out of it if it's enough. I don't know. There's momentum. When you got momentum, it's hard to stop. So at any rate, I apologize to anybody that if I've ever spun them. I ain't going to cry when I get spun. It happens. It's the sport. What comes around goes around. And not to say that I don't want anybody thinking they want to put an X mark on me, like 5 points for antler. Nobody needs that on them. Anyway, whatever. Did some bumping and grinding, love tapping. We did all right. And I finagled a third place finish. First time I've ever got to hit the scales. All the way from the end. All the way from 16th. Had I stayed in second, who knows? But brand new set of tires definitely gave me confidence. And now, of course, I just put this car up on the jack stands, and I'm seeing I've got my work cut out for me. Not just in the body work, which I'll show you a little bit. Of course, here's the front bumper. And I'll show you how to repair these rubber bumpers, these aftermarket rubber bumpers. You can see I've already done it before, but she'd be getting torn up. Man, I'm gonna make her pretty again. All that yellow line down there, need to redo that. Need to clean up all the love marks down the side. I don't know how intense I'm gonna get into it. There's a crack here. Yeah, I'll probably fix that. This here's a little wobbly, big deal. That's got a crack. This here, I don't know. You know what? I'm probably just gonna leave that. And I will fix this. This wheel opening's got cracked scrapes, buckled in, crack. Bumper cover, we'll take care of that. And then we got dents and love marks and a wheel mark. And that, you know what? Swear to God, I think I can buff that out. I probably won't though. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna do a little body work through here just to make her pretty again. I'll probably repaint the air dams down below. And then, holy sweet Jesus, what in the hell happens up here? Why is there so much damage in your right front, Steve? I don't know. Wow, I even got it on the wheel. Yeah, so that's, that's just common. That's just the way it is when it comes to dirt track racing. Right front, when you're coming out, well, it depends on the type of car. A front wheel drive car, that's kind of what happens. Your drive wheels, when you've got the wheels cranked and your foot's down, you're going to have a tendency to push and go up the track. And, these things happen. So, yeah, I got my work cut out for me. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. Something I just happened to find. I've been trying to find a clunk. I don't know if this is a clunk that would occur when I would turn the opposite direction, and I have a feeling this here might have something to do with it. This eccentric is, and I don't know how much it's moving this control arm around, but that is an issue. Of course, and this is common on a lot of dirt track cars, is the right rear bearing. This thing is, I tightened it before the race, but I don't know if you can hear that. So she's loose again. I'm not quite sure exactly how they fail, when they fail. I do know the wheel will come off. I don't know if it's because the nut backs out and then part of the hub and the wheel go flying, or if it just, the bearing goes bad and it saws and breaks up the hub or the spindle itself. Either way, got to figure that out. Now, I've been sorting some things out. Had a power steering issue. For some reason, it was puking fluid all over the place for a couple of races, and wasn't sure what was going on there. And I ended up taking the belt off, figured, let's replace that. And then I saw that there was chunks of belt on the tensioner, not tensioner, there's an idler pulley. Changed that. Yeah, that's kind of routine maintenance. I'm not quite sure why it would make it puke power steering fluid, but it seems to be all right now. That's good. And then I also, I put some solid mounts in here, or I created them. You can see that, that's crappy silver paint and that Turb-Burglar welding. That's mine. That's a solid mount. And let's see, can we show this one? No. It's down under there. Can you see that? That under there is a solid mount that I created. And, they don't have to be perfect as long as they hold. And they seem to be doing all right. Because I did have a couple of races where I was hearing things that were like scary sounding. And it was, because the motor mounts were all whacked out. And it also will change how you have to drive and how the car reacts. If you have rubber mounts in there, there's going to be a certain amount of flex. So when you pull out of the gas, when you hit decompression, there's, a couple of inches of give or leeway between the engine and the tires. Whereas now, as a solid one, the only thing that's between the two is the axles, which is another thing I need to take a look at, because I do hear a clunking, and I'm not totally sure if it's the axles or possibly a throwout bearing or something in the trans. I don't know. I've nursed it this far. It's been 2 or 3 races that I've been noticing it. I know before the mounts were replaced, I had somebody tell me they could hear some clunking banging around from the side of the track while I was racing. So it was a good thing to go solid, because I don't think it's making those loud noises anymore. But yeah. So enough of that. And where do I want to go from here? I don't know. I probably ought to just end this long ass video. Kind of a crying, pissing, moaning, and victorious. I ran for the first time across the scales after a race. Yes, from the back. If had I been in second, stayed in second, yeah, tire low. By the way, a starter should never be telling you tire low unless he's waving a black flag with an orange circle in the middle, the meatball. That's the only time that should happen, if they're waving that flag at you. So, yeah, humility. I make an ass out of myself almost every time I go to the track. Did I ever tell you about the time I backed the car off the trailer and then one of the ramps kicked out and I hung the car, the nose of it, on the trailer? Yeah, that was a genius move. All alone, all by myself I did that. Running around like a chicken with its head cut off after that. So, yeah, you know what? Humility. There's a lot to be said for it. And just go out, keep an open mind, learn, and have fun, smile, apologize. Don't be too big of a, too proud of yourself that you can't, come down to somebody else's level or whatever. You know what I mean? We're all human. Why don't we all just try and get along? Let's have fun. And that's what racing's all about. And occasionally getting the shit scared out of you. Yeah. Signing off from the chicken coop. Till the next time.